Hey guys, Joe here at JP Details, and today we'll be addressing the bay on the Bimmer, which is in need of a well overdue deep clean and protect via the engine bay detail. Before we begin, can you please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss future content, as it would be much appreciated. We are now approaching that time of the year again where the winter daily driver comes out and the toys go away. I'll be dailying the van over the winter and putting the Focus and the Beamer away until spring. Whether I'll have the space to do that permanently in the unit, I highly doubt. The 1 Series is going to receive a detail similar to what the Focus had, but it won't be quite as exhausting. I've spent in excess of 275 hours detailing the Focus, perhaps I can keep it sub 100 hours on the Beamer. To set things off with the 1 Series, be prepared to watch me obsess over this engine bay, as I will do it justice. Be sure to remove any leaves, twigs, berries or other bits of debris from the bay by hand before getting it all wet. You can even opt to vacuum these areas with the crevice tool if the buildup of debris warrants doing so. The car had been parked under a bunch of trees recently, hence the excessive debris in the bay. I didn't put the car under the tree myself as somebody else did. I do believe that it has been quite a while since this car has been either detailed, or at the very least whether it's actually been owned by a detailing enthusiast in recent years. Usually you can tell if a car has been owned by a detailing enthusiast before, because things like the arches, the engine bay, the level of swirling in the paint should all give you a general idea. I'm sure the car will at some point have been decontaminated at the very least. I do know that the last owner of this car did keep the car mechanically sound, and he did spend quite a bit on it, but he certainly wasn't a detailer. Before we continue, I'll quickly run through the main bits of kit that you'll ideally need to carry out an engine bay detail to a professional standard. The jet wash is a very versatile tool when it comes to detailing and for all external tasks, which will make your life easier. Some say steam, but I say water. Blow air dryer in a lovely blue finish is also going to help you to deliver the professional result. This one retails for sub £200, I believe. I'll link it in the description below. A wheel bucket with water, your preferred shampoo inside with a few brushes, and depending on how badly soiled your engine bay is, a suitable APC or degreaser at a dilution of your choice. I'm going with Built Amber Surfex HD diluted around 7:1 to offer me a better clean than what ordinary APC would. If you're feeling brave, then there will be an excuse to use the snow foam lance to blanket the bay with a product that will help you to clean. I do have a few brushes within my bucket of soapy water, and these are a Swissfax wheel brush, an Easy Detail Go brush and a Martin Cox narrow brush. I've obviously recorded this footage at the end as I've just thrown the water away. You may or may not need a vacuum to assist with debris removal from the drainage channels, as these areas are likely to become filled with twigs, leaves, which could potentially cause a blockage. You certainly would, however, benefit from wearing a pair of gloves. Here's my latest purchase from Amazon, ready for the cold winter months, link in the description below. If your engine bay is suffering with a similar issue to mine, i.e. debris on your bay, then switch it over to the circular brush attachment to gently vacuum it all up, and be sure to capture an incredible thumbnail. After you've vacuumed your bay, you can either do what I'm about to do, or you could take one initial precautionary step before getting the bay wet, which would take you 10 minutes to do. I would recommend that you tape off all electrical sockets with carrier bags and detailer's tape. Check the bay carefully and make sure they are all taped off. I would also suggest that detailer's insurance is probably most important to have to cover you for potential engine bay hiccups. Continue at your own risk. If this were to be a customer vehicle, then I certainly would have taped off all of the electrical sockets. However, this is my own vehicle, and I know in the back of my mind that the engine will be fine. I'm going to begin with rinsing the underside of the bonnet down first. I must warn you now that I do only plan to pressure wash this engine bay once within my ownership. If I do a proper job today, I won't have to do it again, unless it gets parked under that moss tree again, which I can assure you won't be happening. A decent initial rinse with the pressure washer to the underside of the bonnet, then move it down and rinse off the bay. Like I say, I am only ever going to do this once, so perhaps you could get away with being a little less fruitful with the pressure washer, shall we say. I'm going to be pretty mad with my bay, it's up to you how mad you go with yours. I'm going to rinse the bay down and pretty much cover all areas incredibly thoroughly. Even the gaps and crevices where I can't physically see down will still get cleaned to capture the finer details. The jet wash will remove a decent amount of all sorts of dirt and grime from the bay and potentially even begin to shift any oil and grease, but hopefully not too much. I'll await the numerous comments about how you shouldn't use a jet wash on the engine bay, and I'll tell you what, I won't even bother to respond. With the bay rinsed down, I may shock a few more viewers, as what I'm about to do next is to chuck a load of snow foam on to begin softening a bunch of dirt and grime. Yes, this may be extreme, but I do believe in my bay. I'll begin the brushing bashing madness and utilise a product called Built Amber Surfex HD. There's no point in applying the product over the top of the snow foam, so apply it straight into the brush. Clean the underside of the bonnet, starting in one particular place, then move your way around in a manageable way. One big thing to take note on is the fabric insulation in the centre of the bonnet. If this were a new vehicle, then it shouldn't need to be jet washed, and especially not in the fashion that I gave mine. Usually the options are to potentially lightly rinse the fabric, but scrubbing in a ton of APC isn't always necessary. A wipe over with APC and a towel may suffice, followed with a vacuum. Newer vehicles, I won't even get these wet. Older vehicles like my 12-year-old 1 Series do carry the risk of having a crappy underhood fabric shield. Mine has certainly seen better days, and ideally it does need replacing. Looking at it now, it does clearly need to be replaced or ditched. I will ditch it towards the end of the video because it did become apparent that it's even more out of shape now than it was before. I may as well replace it than clean it, as it's gone too far in my eyes, but I did try my best to save it, but to no avail. At all times when cleaning a vehicle, no matter what the task is, I'll always treat the overall subject area in a routine way. I'll begin in one select area and then make my way around. I won't be doing a little bit here and a little bit there, I'll be hitting all areas whilst working around the bay. I'll use the Swissvax detail brush to cover a substantial amount of the bay, and then switch over to the bog brush by Easy Detail called the Go brush, whilst not forgetting the Martin Cox narrow brush shortly after. You could spend 30 minutes doing this entire process, or you could spend 2 hours. In all fairness, I did spend longer. It is a long amount of time to have the snow foam dwelling on the bay for, but most modern engine bays are designed to withstand serious weather conditions. The snow foam does help to soften up the dirt, grease and grime in areas that I'll never be able to reach with the brushes, and you must take note that I do like my detail jobs to be thorough. When you have finally detail brushed the bay, grab the pressure washer and begin the rinse. A general rule is to not get too close to any parts of the engine bay, so perhaps you may want to consider using your jet wash at more of a distance than shown in this video. In total, we have various different points of cleaning. For example, we had the litter pick, a vacuum, a pre-rinse, snow foam, agitation with Surfex HD times 3 different brushes, and then finally a pressure rinse to remove the soap, suds, dirt and grime. All of these stages accumulate together and deliver you a final result. Please do take note that all final results do differ in quality. The fabric on the underside of the bonnet can potentially sag, especially with older vehicles. The one on my Caddy went bad ages ago, this Bimmer one is and I even destroyed one on a Golf Mark 5 GTI a few years back. Quite a common balls up to happen, so do take care. In hindsight, I should have removed the fabric prior to even starting and then just thrown it in the bin. The bay on the Bimmer didn't take a huge deal of anything apart from a real thorough brushing process to get it all cleaned up. The surfaces on the engine bay do fill me with confidence that the bay is going to be looking stunning when the job is done. The drying stage via the blower, which is heated might I add, will assist in removing all trapped water from the gaps and crevices of the bay. Blow it all out of the hard to reach areas, and this goes for the underside of the hood as well. Be prepared to spend a good 20 minutes or so blowing the water out, as it does take a bit of doing. I did attempt to blow out the fabric material, but I soon gave up due to it being royally. My original plan was to try and save it, but it's just too far gone. The amount of dirt on the underside wasn't substantial, so I simply cleaned it with a microfiber towel. It certainly didn't warrant getting the jet wash back out again. I turned my attention to the engine bay itself, and again I made sure to be nice and thorough with the removal of the trapped water from the gaps and crevices. The air blower is a must-have tool for detailing in general. I use it on every detail, and sometimes it'll even be used more than once per car. It's a very handy tool to have for engine bays like we are seeing today, also the wheels off detail and the underside treatments. The fact it's heated makes it beneficial for winter, as it does help to keep you warm. I'd probably say after a good 2-hour detailing session, the bay was looking much better than before. The plan is now to dress and protect the plastic, rubber and painted surfaces to get the bay looking at its absolute best. In return, it will be nice and easy to maintain the finish through the use of a few select products. For the next stage of the bay detailing bonanza, we are going to need a few extra products. A spray wax for the painted areas and a dressing for the plastic trim. I've gone with lithium trim serum for the plastics and easy car care chrome for my spray wax. An oddly shapen and cracked Swiss Wax detail brush and a yellow microfiber applicator will help me to get this bay looking hot. A few microfiber towels to assist and a clean engine bay to finish off, so let's get cracking. I did begin with applying the trim serum with a brush, however I soon realised I'd be much better starting with the pad. Shortly after, I swapped them over and began essentially massaging the trim serum onto the plastic. I did soon begin to figure out that there are quite a few edges to all of the different bits of plastic trim, and with the car being relatively low down towards the ground, I did towards the middle parts really want the plastic dressing stage to be done. Nevertheless, I could clearly see the surfaces reacting incredibly well to the dressing, so I knew I was in for a solid result. My plan for now is to obviously give the engine bay the clean of its life, but I am going to settle for just the one layer of the plastic dressing, because when the car undergoes its big detail at some point in the foreseeable, I'll slap on another layer and give it a maintenance spruce up to eventually bring the whole car and detail together. Trim serum is a fantastic product, but we don't have any supplies over here in the UK. Maybe this is something that Lithium needs to sort out. They have sent me a few other goodies over, in fact 6 or so products, but only trim serum was applicable to finish this engine bay video off. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss future content covering these other Lithium products. When I did the engine bay detail on the Focus RS, I used the product Swissvac seal feed fluid for the rubber seals. On today's occasion, I simply don't have the time to allow that product the time it needs before the vehicle gets driven next. For now, I will apply trim serum to the rubber seals to spruce them up and to offer them a bit of moisture to darken the finish. These little yellow microfiber applicators are an excellent choice for many different detailing duties. I utilised the pad to spread the product over all accessible sections of trim. I switched back to the brush and filled in the gaps shortly after. You'll then want to go back over with the yellow applicator to help mop up any excess product and to give it a smooth finish. The brush really did help me to get to those hard to reach areas, and I was looking forward to buffing it all off in around an hour's time. With the plastic dressing laid down onto every section of plastic trim, I'll use the Easy Car Care Chrome, which is a spray wax, to offer added gloss and shine to the underside of the hood. This has proved to be a nice product to work with, and I would recommend buying it. I do believe that it isn't particularly expensive, so it may be worth a look. Those stickers are bugging me whilst I watch this, but they will be coming off soon. I don't intend to put the heat shield back on or to even bother replacing it. I'll remove the stickers shortly and be done with the old rag. The partially painted chassis areas in the bay were treated to Easy Car Care, and it really did give them a nice satin finish. The surfaces feel incredibly smooth after this product, so it has worked some magic. Offer up some heat to the hideous underhood hooligan factory stickers via the use of a B&Q heat gun. Cheers B&Q, you can do it if you B&Q it. Melt the threesome of factory stickers and offer up some tar and glue remover to see what they think of that. The first guy disintegrated almost immediately, but the other two did put up more of a fight. I managed to remove all of the glue residue, but the finish underneath still clearly shows that there were 3 badges on there that must have been on there for quite some time. More than likely 12 years. I'll quickly clean the area with the spray wax to finish off the underside of the hood. Lithium trim serum is a greasy product to get on your hands, and even on first application on the plastic trim you can clearly see that it does look noticeably greasy. Give it some time though and the sheen does begin to die down, and after you've buffed it off the finish will be superb. I left the product on the RS's bay for 24 hours at a time and repeated for 2 layers, which worked absolutely wonders and still looks great today. I'll more than likely do similar with the Bimmer's bay, but for today I think this will do it justice. Work the microfiber towel into all areas of the bay to remove all final traces of the excess trim serum product. You will want to keep the bay from getting wet for at least 12 hours after applying the product. I haven't had any issues with rain causing marks in the plastic trim after using this product, but still I do believe that it does need a little bit of time to fully cure. The engine bay is now looking 10 times better, which is excellent to see. The detail series has officially begun on the new daily driver, and I am very much looking forward to continuing with this detail. One final cleaning tip: built amber Surfex HD, use neat on a microfiber towel to clean up the bonnet catch and hinge area, as these are usually very greasy or oily at the very least. If you wish you can re-grease these areas after, and I will re-grease them if they begin to squeak. That's the engine bay all finished off, and what a fantastic result. I am chuffed. It just goes to show what a few products and tools and what a bit of time can achieve, and to make things better I even enjoyed the whole process. That's what this car needs, the JP touch. Fairly sure this is the N55 engine then and not the N54 that I thought it was in the reveal video, as I was corrected by a few viewers in the comment section. Either way, it runs 306 horsepower standard and it's a 3 litre straight 6 engine. It's rear wheel drive with recent new Michelin PS4s fitted, so the thing grips and rips. It would benefit massively from a remap and a decat, which would see 60 odd horsepower and that would put it on point. I don't plan to keep this car long enough, and I do imagine that it will be replaced with an E46 M3 next summer. I haven't had my fun with the 1 Series yet though, so I shouldn't talk about getting rid of it anytime soon. As you can see, the bay cleaned up very nicely and it's a ticked box for one of the Bimmer to-do list items: winner winner chicken dinner. Here are a few of the items, products and tools that we used today, just in case you wanted to see them again. As always, thank you for watching, and please do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you aren't already. There's lots more content inbound with one key upcoming series, the 1 Series Detail. Feel free to drop me a follow on Facebook and Instagram, just search JP Details, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one.